Hey, hello everybody. We're jumping on. We're gonna wait for Ingrid. She's a health educator from Teen Clinic to jump on before we get started. But welcome everybody. It's probably like our fifth or I don't know. I lost count, but it's probably our fifth or sixth live session today. Hi everybody. Hi Val. How you doing? I'm just gonna give it a second. I think somebody. Sorry that my head is tilted. My stand only works sideways. So I have to tip my head to seat. But there we go. We should have Ingrid in the chat. She's connecting right now. But how's everybody doing? Everybody having a good Wednesday? There we go. Hey, Ingrid.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? How is everybody doing at home?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing good. Just spending a lot of time with my puppy, so she must be in heaven right now.
Wait, you have a puppy?
Oh, I no, she's like 5 years old, but she's still like a puppy to me.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she is like mixed Chihuahua with like a terrier, like mix. Yeah. So
Okay.
she
But
must
any
be
chance
loving
that
it
she's
right now.
around?
I can get her around. I like purposely took her out because then she
Uh,
gets very, very excited, and so she will probably nonstop barking.
oh no, no, it's okay. Maybe we could get a little picture later.
Yeah.
But uh, so my name is Jose Tinoco. For all of you who don't know me, I'm a coordinator, and I mostly work with the Shababy program. We're a program that's associated with Teen Clinic, and we help promote, we help do events, we do referrals, and this is
Hi, everyone. My name is Ingrid. I am the Teen Clinic Health Educator. So whenever you do go and visit us at Teen Clinic, you will most likely be talking to me. Even we're going to talk a little bit about what has happened since the quarantine. But just a quick spoiler alert, whenever you do text or whenever you do call the line, you're going to be speaking with me. So nice to meet you all. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, and we actually wanted to have Ingrid specifically, like she mentioned, she's the health educator for Teen Clinic right now. Before we had a couple of health educators that would rotate around, uh, but since everything started, she's been the person. She's been doing a lot of work to get our services back and running. Well, actually, I'll let her tell us. But so, how are things changed since quarantine started in Teen Clinic?
Yeah, so a couple of things. We have actually been closed for in-person visits, with this whole quarantine that's been going on, and it's just really more for, safety of our patients and then safety of our staff as well. But our teen clinic line is still open. So anyone can text the line or call the line. I am not sure if you all have the number, but I can go ahead and plug that in real quick. So it's 619-800-8336. So you can go ahead and text this line. Right now, we were going through a little bit of a change with hours, but at this point, I'm happy to say that you can text the line or call the line from 8 a.m. to 4:30, Monday through Friday. And so like I said, our appointments are we're not seeing anybody physically at Teen Clinic, but if you still do need to make an appointment, we are still able to help you. And so feel free to shoot me a text, shoot me a call, and then if you do need an appointment, we can go ahead and redirect you, referring our patients now to another one of our clinics. It's about like 10 minutes away from the clinic, so hopefully it's not too much of a change. And then at that point, you would go ahead and be seen by a provider. But you do need to speak with myself first. Most of the time, I'm able to answer most of the questions. There are things, obviously, that you do need to see a provider for. So at that point, we would go ahead and redirect you there.
Perfect. So it sounds like all our services are kind of in place. We just have to do a little bit extra for our patients to get those services.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say extra because it's right now what's really cool is that it's sort of like a one-stop shop type of thing, that you get to really speak with myself about literally anything you would want to talk about. And then at that point, I'll probably be able to help you, maybe speak with your doctor on your behalf so you don't even have to go to any clinic. And again, there are those instances where you still do need to see a provider. And so we definitely do want to make sure that you are taken care of, and then that would take place.
Okay, and then you mentioned there are instances where people do have to go see a provider. What would some of them
Right.
be?
Yeah, so for instance, I don't know if any, I'm pretty sure you all already know the types of services that we offer, anything to do with reproductive health, right, or sexual health. So that includes birth control, STI testing, STI screening, treatment, anything really to do with reproductive health, pregnancy tests, emergency contraception, or like Plan B. And so for prescriptions, let's say you are already on the birth control pill and you just call me up and say, hey, I just want to get a refill. In those instances, what I can go ahead and do is talk to your doctor.
I think
Need to, oh, did I lose you?
I think we lost a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, if it's just solely for prescriptions, then I can go ahead at that point, reach out to your doctor for you, so you don't really have to do anything else. And then at that point, they can go ahead and just send your prescription over, just solely to pick up. Now, instances where you would need to physically go to another clinic for services would be, if you do need some type of birth control that can't be prescribed, so like the depot shot, the IUD, implant, things like that. If you need testing for whatever reason, if you need treatment for any reason, things like that, that you actually do need to be seen by an actual doctor.
Okay, so that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. It seems like regardless if it's something they can get refilled or they need to go see a doctor, they can do that with us currently. How's the
Yeah.
paperwork looking? Is there a lot
What do
of
you
forms
mean?
people have to fill?
No, so, well, no, I lie. Maybe. So if you are not new, so that means that you've been with us before, then that means that we already have you registered in our system, which is great. Now, every single time that you will chat with me, I will go ahead and let you know sort of the process that it would be like. But one of the things that I do first is to make sure that your family packed insurance, which is that little like blue green card that we give you, is active, which means that it is still
Perfect.
good to go, that it hasn't expired. And so if for some reason that has expired, then we do have a team. We still have Natalie, who is my coworker, who she takes care of renewing those insurances, registering those patients. So at that point, if, when I get the patient's permission, then I would go ahead and share that information to her, and then renew everything. So most of the paperwork can be done over the phone. Now, if you do have an appointment, then all that stuff can be taken care of at the appointment.
That's awesome. That seems
Mm-hmm.
like just for a little context, the own process, somebody would come to Teen Clinic, they would get a stack of forms, there'd be a couple of papers, and it can take anywhere from
Right.
5 minutes to what, 25, 30 minutes to fill out.
Yeah, sometimes depending.
Yeah. And it kind of sounds like much of it, especially if they're already patients, you just kind of do it in the system over the phone.
Mm-hmm. Right. And one of the things that I do want to mention is that typically, like Josie was saying, all these forms are done in clinic. And so we really do strive to keep all of your information confidential, which means that it just stays 100% private. We can't release your information. We won't share your information with anybody before getting the patient's permission. Now, one of the things that has changed is that because I am speaking with people over the phone, or through text, I can't 100% guarantee that, just because there's no that face-to-face interaction.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, I can't really verify who I'm, messaging through text. But again, one of the things that I do stress is that I won't call or I won't text. I won't make contact with you unless I don't have your permission first. And in that, anytime that I do share your information with our healthcare team, it will only be with our healthcare team. And then I will also go ahead and give you the heads up. So that's one of the things that has slightly changed, just given that, we're working from home and we're talking through, online or phone.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear.
Hmm.
I know since we've started quarantine, a big concern is can we do all these services and still keep it confidential?
Right.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we've done a pretty great job. At least the responses that we have been getting from patients, they seem to be pretty positive in the way that they don't feel like one of the things that we were struggling with is, not everybody has access to transportation.
mm,
And so now they can easily just text the line or give me a call. And a lot of the things that they may be worried about or have questions about, we can go ahead and still sort of have like a conversation style type of session. And so I think that's been working out great. One of the things that we are currently working on is also having video sessions. So just a quick update. We don't really know when all of that stuff will start. It's still sort of like a day-to-day type of thing. But feel free to follow us on Instagram, and then also check out our website for more details on when that's coming.
yeah, and that sounds like it'd be really cool because you were mentioning kind of the one thing that you were missing or that's absent right now is that face-to-face interaction, uh,
Right.
which can like show a lot. It can show a lot of caring. You can get a lot of a conversation there. So
Mm-hmm.
if we can implement that in the future, I just thought that we have a question. If we can implement that in the future, that'd be great. For all of those who just joined, the number for Teen Clinic is pinned, and we're here with Ingrid, who is currently the health educator at Teen Clinic. So if you call or text, again, free of charge, completely confidential, she will
Right.
be the one answering those calls or texts. And the question is, uh, what are the ages of Teen Clinic?
So at Teen Clinic, we see anybody between the ages of 12 to 24. So if you are between those ages, and let's say you already have an insurance, but most of the time it's still under your parents' insurance, and want to keep everything private and confidential, with whenever we do sign you up for Family Pack, you don't need a parent's consent. And again, everything stays completely confidential in the sense that we cannot release your information. You don't need your parents' permission to receive any of the services that we offer.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And that's Teen Clinic's age range. If somebody has FPAC, let's say they were 24 and they were a Teen Clinic patient, you can still use that FPAC card if it hasn't expired, and go to other clinics that take it. But we work
Right.
specifically with that age range.
Yeah, and even if you are 24, we can see you up to the day before you turn 25. And so we just don't like to say up to 25 because then sometimes we get, adolescents that are 25, then they want to come receive services at that point.
Mm.
Unfortunately, we can't see them. But we can see you up to or until you turn physically 25. So it's a good gap there.
And why do we have that age restriction at Teen Clinic?
Well, because most of the time when you are over 18, a lot of people already have health insurances that may cover some of the services that we offer. And then also we do like to maintain, and really we have seen that there is a need for a really, teen-friendly space where teens within this age range can go to get these services and know that when they are coming to Teen Clinic or when they are speaking to someone who works there, they're not going to be judged. It's more of like a safe zone. So
Mhm.
whatever questions that they may have, stays between that person and the health educator. And so it's just a really cool zone for, adolescents and teens to go to, especially I know, sometimes they may not feel comfortable talking about these topics to their parents or even to their friends. And we all know that, sometimes we can't trust everything that is online. And so that's what we're here for.
Yeah. And then I know that you mentioned earlier, we physically aren't taking people in, uh, but we do strive to give the best possible service as we can. So if you're a
Right.
teen, a youth coming in, and you feel that we could be doing a better job, let us know. we want to make changes, we want to adapt, and we want to give the best possible services that we can.
Oh yeah, of course. If you want to go ahead and text the line or call me and then just tell me, hey, you know what? I think you guys should be doing this differently, or oh hey, this is how my experience was before. I think this is what you could have done. Then feel free. Obviously, right now, how we have been working from home and online and trying to work with different doctors. I mean, it's been a learning curve for sure. But we are definitely trying our best to stay current, to still be able to be reachable by anyone who is needing these services. And again, if you do have any recommendations or anything like that, I mean, I'm 25, 26, and so way beyond some people's ages, maybe a little old already. So if you do have any insight or anything like that, especially because I'm the one who's doing all the conversations, all the education sessions right now, yeah, for sure, feel free to let me know. I would definitely want to learn, and like you said, we can definitely even bring the stuff back, hopefully after COVID-19.
Mm-hmm. And just a little aside, I'm also older than the age range.
I know.
I just turned 30, but the funny thing is when I started working at Teen Clinic, I've been working with Teen Clinic for a long time. I got hired because I was in the age range and I was helping make those changes. But a lot has changed since then. So like Ingrid said, we're always open to feedback so you have the best services possible. And then talking about the best services possible, the last couple of weeks, we've been just assessing the whole community, trying to see what services are available. And big thanks to Delilah from the CHIP team. She did a lot of groundwork, getting a lot of phone numbers. So we actually have a list with resources from everything from food distribution to COVID testing to transportation, mental health, and some of it is San Ysidro Health. Like we have a food distribution every Tuesday at the Chaldean and Middle Eastern Social Services, where they're giving out free food to families in need. But other community or community partners like South Bay Community Services that we work closely with are also giving free food. And they actually have a different schedule. They're doing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. And it's at different locations at different times. And they're doing it week to week. But if you ever have questions, yes, we focus on reproductive health. Our expertise is birth control, testing, relationships. But we have been working and trying to get as much knowledge into the community to try to see other services that we can provide to people. So if you have questions about that, we might not be experts in that, but we can help point you in the right direction.
Right, yeah. And another thing to point out is, like Josie said, although we primarily focus on reproductive health services or sexual health. If anybody ever does if you know of anybody or you yourself have any questions about, school, maybe you're having a rough time with staying at home, healthy relationships, substance use, mental health. Like Josie said, we may not be experts at every field, but we can definitely, and we are, grateful that we have a lot of people on our staff that are very knowledgeable. So if, for instance, I myself cannot help you, I will definitely find someone who is maybe better equipped. Now with that, there is also a line that I also wanted to point out. It's the San Diego Access and Crisis line. So I know that, we mentioned, feel free to text, feel free to call, between the times of 8 to 4:30. Now let's say, oh, hey, you know what? It's 6 o'clock and I really need someone to talk to. You can feel free to go. Be confidential, other than we have those 3 instances where, for instance, if you say that you're going to hurt somebody else, if somebody else is going to hurt you, or you're planning on hurting somebody else. And so we do have a lot of these different services that sometimes there's so many out there that we may not even know about either. But we are always here to either point you in the right direction, or at least just be there, or for someone or for you if you ever do need to just talk or anything like that. So
yeah, and the cool thing about the Access and Crisis line, and I think they talked about it last week when they were talking about mental health.
Mental health. Mm-hmm.
They actually have, and I just pulled it up. Let me see if I can show everybody. They have a live chat, and it's available Monday
Yes.
through Friday at 4 p. It's actually
To
available from
10.
4 p.m. to 10 p.m. So they have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of availability. So if you need to talk to somebody, but you don't feel like calling for whatever reason, you don't want to text for whatever reason, this is a good opportunity. You can just live chat and they can help you out. But yeah, it's a great, great service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if do you have any other resources that you want to share, Josie?
Yes, I want to give a little bit more detail. I'm trying to pull it up. More detail on the food. I've personally gone to stores and had the shelf completely empty. Couldn't find milk, couldn't find bread, sometimes couldn't find fruit.
Yeah.
Uh, so a lot of these food services, the ones I mentioned before, the South Bay Community Services one and the San Isidro Health, both give you packages of food, and it has a little bit of meats, a little bit of veggies. It has a little bit of everything. So it's not that you're just getting a whole bunch of stuff. So it's really, really good. Uh, Most of them, I personally gone and seen how the South Bay Community Services works. I haven't gone to the San Isidro Health one, but it's a drive-through method. So there's very little contact. They will ask you to wear a face mask, but how it's going to work is you're going to drive up, and they're just going to hand you. They're going to be wearing masks. They have gloves, and they're going to hand you food. Then you put it in the back of the truck, and then you keep going. So it's pretty
Oh,
simple.
okay.
Uh,
Like curbside pickup.
yes, they're calling it curbside drive-through food pickup. And I'm trying to pull up
Awesome.
the this week's, like I mentioned, for South Bay Community Services. They're doing it week to week. So they have different schedules. So if you're interested, I would recommend to go on their website or on their Instagram. But this week they have one tomorrow, May 21st, from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. at Castle Park Elementary School, and that's in Chula Vista. And then today they actually have one going on right now. Today, Wednesday, May 20th, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So there's about 40 minutes left, 39 minutes left. And that one's in Loma Verde Recreation Center. So again, free food. And let me pull up the San Isidro Health one.
Oh, that's awesome. And again, if any of you who just recently joined, if you do, we've been talking about some resources around in the community for food distribution, for housing, for mental health. So if you do need any other information, I believe we can also share that in some of our social media posts. So just keep on the lookout for that. Or if you can go ahead and also text the line or call the TC line, and I can go ahead and share those resources through there as well.
Oh no, I dropped my pen. I just pulled up the food distribution from San Isidro Health, and it's every Tuesday. It's in the Chaldean and Middle Eastern Social Services, which is in El Cajon. The cool thing about this one is that it's by appointment only, which, it kind of sounds like, oh no,
Okay.
you have to call and make an appointment. That sounds like an extra step. But the South Bay Community Services one, again, great, but the line can get a little bit long depending on the date and the time. This one, again, I haven't access, so I can't speak to it personally, but it sounds like they have an appointment, so it might be a little quicker. The number for that one, if you're interested, is 619-662-4100. And then you press option 4, then option 2, and it takes you directly to the food distribution. So I'm going to say it again because it was a couple of steps. You have to dial 619-662-4100, and then it's going to take you to the San Isidro helpline. Then you press option 4, and then press option 2, and it takes you to the food distribution department in San Isidro Health. So those two, I was really excited because, again, I personally have had trouble. It's a little better now, but I've had trouble finding food for my family. So those are really two. And then the other one that I really wanted to point out was the accessing crisis line that you already pointed out.
Yeah, and then we have Lila that says that the line starts forming 30 minutes before. I'm not sure what line she is referring to.
That might be for the South Bay Community food distribution. She's been to that one before, so I think she might be talking about that one. Uh, but now what we're going to do is, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat right now, and we'll get to them right now. But we also, in the last couple of weeks since quarantine started, we've been getting a lot of questions texted to the Teen Clinic line. So we kind of looked over them, looked at the ones that we got more often, and we're going to answer them right here. So if you want, I can read them off to you, and you can answer them, Ingrid.
Sure.
Perfect. So the most frequently asked question that we kind of already answered, but is Teen Clinic open during quarantine?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we have been closed for in-person visits, but we are still open to speak to a health educator. So you can either text the line, call the line, the number is pinned. Feel free to send us a text, send us a call anytime between 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. Now, if you do need appointments, still give us a text, still give us a call, because although we are not seeing patients physically in Teen Clinic, we are now referring all of our patients to another one of our clinics, which is about like 10 minutes away, so it's not too much of a sidetrack.
Okay. And then Angelica just said, another great resource is I should have read this before I started out loud. We got std.com. Nope. We got sd.com, not std.com, to request any aid due to the pandemic. So if you need aid, I'm not sure what type, but it seems like that might be a good resource. You can access that website. I'll check it out in a bit, and I'll give some feedback. Next question. Can I still call or text after hours? So the hours that we mentioned.
Yes. So if you do text or call, then just one of the things that I just do ask is please leave your name, reason, and let me know that it is safe for me to do so, to give you either a text or a call back. And then I will definitely get back to you either via text or call next day or so.
Okay. And you mentioned that if it's safe to call that number, what would you recommend for somebody who wouldn't like to get a call to that number or a text back?
So, I mean, just saying anything like, hey, I'm really, my name is Ingrid. I'm really interested in talking about birth control. Just please don't text me or don't call this number. You can go ahead and reach me and you can just go ahead and leave me a number for me to text you, and even the times that you would want me to reach you back at.
Okay, so it's like super flexible. Like, please don't use this number. Here's another one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, as long as it's between 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday, I will definitely do my best to try to get a hold of them whenever they are able to chat.
Awesome. And then Angelica just put, it's a bunch of different types of aid, including unemployment benefits, housing, food. So it sounds like it's really, really
Oh, okay. A little bit of
holistic. It
everything.
has like, yeah, a little bit of everything. So the website again was we got sd.com. I keep wanting to say STD,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's just because of what we do for a living.
Yes.
Okay, the third most frequently asked question. I do not have health insurance. Can I still receive services from you?
Yeah. So again, we would sign you up for Family Pact, which is just a health insurance that covers all of your reproductive health, sexual health services, and all of those services would be completely free. The way that this health insurance works is that you are good to go for about 12 months. After your 12th month, then you would have to just renew your insurance, and then you would be good to go for the next year.
Sorry, I really wanted to get my pen that fell.
It's annoying you, I can tell.
Yeah. Well, last week, and we'll get to the questions right now. Last week we talked about how mental health is really important and how some people relieve stress with tactile things. Tanisha had a little squishy. I personally like just a steel pen. It's not nothing fancy, but I get steel because it has a steel spring that you can just go at it, and it has less of a click than other pens, which people would yell at me like, hey, can you please not click
Like
your
not
pen?
do that?
Yeah. So this has been a really effective way to relieve stress for me.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
The fourth most frequently asked question is, I was not born in the US. Can I still receive services?
Yes, you can. So with this health insurance, we don't ask for your citizenship status. It's just a couple of basic questions. Even if you were not born here, the only thing that we really ask is for a California address. And then other than that, like I mentioned, all your services are also completely confidential, so we don't share your information with anyone before getting your permission first.
Okay. The next question is, if I have a question and want to speak to somebody about it, what are my options?
Okay, so I think by text, by call, and right now we're hopefully trying to get video sessions, and so we're working on the logistics still of that. So, we will let you know once that is available, but hopefully, I'm guessing hopefully soon. But at this point, you can either text or call the line.
Perfect. And just a little aside, uh, let's say for whatever reason you don't, at this moment, you don't want to feel comfortable or can text the Teen Clinic phone number, you can always DM the Teen Clinic Instagram. You can
Right.
also DM the Pump 619, that's the Chip Tunes Instagram, or the
Mhm.
SB Shababy Instagram. We're all working together to try to get these services across. And if you just don't have a texting line or a calling line, feel free to DM us. We have health educators managing all those sites. And if for whatever reason they're not familiar with that service, we'll just call Ingrid and she'll let us know what to do.
Yeah, no, like I said, we're a big team and very grateful that everybody has been really awesome. And whenever I do have a question, because obviously I don't have all the answers myself either, then, everybody is able to help out. So yeah, by any means, the most important thing is just to us make sure that you are, receiving the services and get the answers, the questions answered.
Mm-hmm. And then Angelica, which she's being super MVP right now, she's reminding us that if people have anonymous questions, they
Yes.
could also put them on the Teen Clinic website. So they can go on the website. There's an anonymous question section. You type in your question, and then we'll reach back and answer. So thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Angelica.
Yeah, so you
Then
have a lot of different ways to contact us for sure.
the next question is, what if I need to refill my prescription?
Okay, so I think we talked about this a little bit in the beginning. So for those new folks who just joined in, so if you do solely just need a prescription, let's say you're on a birth control pill or even need emergency contraception, so like Plan B, the morning after pill, then what you can do is either go ahead and send me a text, give me a call, and then at that point I can go ahead and send a message to your doctor on your behalf. That way you don't even have to come to the clinic. Most of the time, they are able to send the prescription over to your pharmacy. That way, you can just go straight there and pick it up.
And then you mentioned your pharmacy, so it's whatever pharmacy they prefer, it's closest to them.
Yes, for the most part, yes.
When you say for the most part,
For the most part, as in like there's some pharmacies that are still not open yet or have certain restrictions, and so. We still do have a pharmacy for those who have been to Teen Clinic before that's literally maybe just a couple of feet away. That pharmacy is still seeing patients, is still open. But I just like to say sometimes, or depending on the situation, just because there's a lot of pharmacies that may still not be open. So, but yeah, it's whatever pharmacy the person prefers.
okay. The next question is, and we have 3 questions left. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll get to them as soon as we finish these 3. But the next question is, if we are only able to speak with a health educator via phone or text, is all my info still confidential?
Yeah, so I think we did talk a little bit about this in the beginning too. So yeah, typically when you come to Teen Clinic, all of your services, all your information are completely confidential. Now, because everything is chatting through messaging or on the phone, I can't 100% guarantee that your information will stay completely confidential or private. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes, let's say you text me and you leave your phone laying around and somebody else has access to that, then your information may not stay private. And so same thing when you're talking on the phone with me, if somebody hears you, having that conversation with me and we're talking about your partners or getting tested for whatever reason, then again, your services may not stay completely confidential. And then also that I may have to share your information, again, after getting your permission to the rest of our healthcare team if you do need to book an appointment or anything like that, or renew your insurance.
Okay, so it sounds like on our end, we may have to share that information for the other health educators, with doctors, with, you mentioned Natalie, that's going to help us with the appointments and setting people up with that pack. We might need to share it with them just to get people the services they need. But other than that, we try to keep it as confidential as possible.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. The next question is, I need services, but I can't use my phone. I'm able to use my friends / partner / boyfriend / girlfriend / neighbor / sister's phone to contact the TC line. Can I use somebody else's phone to contact the TC line?
Yeah, this sort of goes, I guess, hand in hand with the last question. So we don't really care about how you contact us. You can use anybody else's phone. Just keep in mind that if you are using somebody else's phone, then if you do call, that number may show up as San Ysidro Health, may just show up as a 619 number. If you send me text and we're having a conversation through text, again, I can't 100% confirm or verify that you are who you say you are, and so just keep that in mind.
Okay. And if you are gonna text us, or if you're gonna DM the Teen Clinic side, the Pump side, or the Shababy Instagram, and you are using somebody's phone, and you want it to be like as private as possible, and I'm not the most tech savvy person, but you might want to just like delete that conversation. But yeah.
Yeah, or same thing, if you are texting me, you can go ahead and just let me know, hey, I'm texting you from, my mom's phone. She's at work right now. After we finish this conversation, or if you don't hear a text from me in 5 minutes, delete the conversation or whatever it is. And yeah, I am all here for you.
Perfect. And the last frequently asked questions that we've gotten is, when will Teen Clinic be able to see patients in person again?
I don't know. So, as much as we do, updates, have been sent, updates are being sent almost on like a day-to-day basis. So unfortunately, today I have no idea when that will be. But again, the reason why we're doing this is not only to keep our staff safe, but also to keep you safe. And so, keep checking, all the Instagram pages, Pump, Shababy, the Teen Clinic page, and, also check out our Teen Clinic website for any other updates, because you know as much as we do.
Yeah, probably the best way to find out when we're going to see patients in person again would be to follow those sites. And like Val said, safety first. You mentioned that we're not only trying to keep ourselves safe, we want to keep everybody who comes into our clinics as safe as possible.
Right.
What goes around just ask, what are some popular suggestions you have gotten to tell students how to handle stress these days? So what are some suggestions to help deal with stress?
Honestly, one of the things that I strongly recommend is, video chatting someone that would usually make your day. That has helped me a ton. I know my brother, he's sophomore in high school. He does that a lot too. All his buddies, all his friends, try to think of something that that makes you happy, whether that's going outside and getting some exercise, cooking, baking, watching your favorite show, reading, going online, watching TikToks for a little bit, just anything that really, that makes you feel happy. And again, if it is something that you're struggling with, feel free to contact me and we can definitely have a little bit more conversation, and then see how we can help you. Or just maybe even having somebody to talk to about why is it that you're feeling sad? What has been going on that you are feeling stressed? How are things in school? How are things at home? And just having someone as sort of like a soundboard sometimes can really help out. So that's one of the things that we are here for sure.
Yeah, having somebody that's actually listening can be really, really important.
Hmm.
In my end, uh, I haven't done this, but my sisters have. They started to trying to bake. Well, not trying. They're doing it. Like this morning, they did matcha pancakes, and they came out
Oh,
a little a little funky looking, but they were delicious. And they've made pastries in the past, so they like baking. I started playing guitar again, so it kind of goes back to what you were saying, like finding an activity that makes you happy and making the time for it.
yeah. And like I said, we have a lot of different groups here. So, check out, I know that Lila was saying Shababy has a really great post with ideas. So we have, the Teen Clinic website, we have the Teen Clinic, Instagram, Shababy's Pump. We have all these different venues that maybe sometimes have the same topics, but may have just different perspectives on it. So feel free to, follow our pages, to figure out, where can I get more information on this? And like I said, we have a lot of health educators. So right now I'm sort of the main one trying to handle,
Hmm.
texts and the calls. But, if for some reason you want to go ahead and, talk to anybody else, feel free. So just let us know. Let
Yeah, if
us know.
you like you were saying, if you already seen a health educator through San Isidro Health, it might have been through a pump event, it might have been through a
Hmm.
Shababy event, and you're familiar with Darvin, or Delilah,
Right.
Robbie,
Hmm.
Angelica, Val, you can just DM the individual Instagram accounts, and most likely that'll message will get to them, and they can find a way to reach out, maybe through the Teen Clinic number, maybe through the DM. But if you already feel comfortable with a person, all those people are still here. And really, why we're doing these lives is to let people know that we're still here and we're trying to help.
Right. Couldn't have said it better.
And then I know I keep mentioning Darvin, but I think Darvin and Tanisha did a really, really amazing job last week talking about mental health, not just in general, but what they made it personal. We're talking about what they were personally doing uh, to kind of deal with it. And I was trying to pull up a quote, but Darvin said something along the lines of, "It's okay to not want to be around people right now, to need your space, to need that mental health." And I think that's really,
Right.
really important. We mentioned that a good activity might be to reach out and have a video chat with your friends and hang out. But sometimes, as an introvert, I am speaking for myself, sometimes you just need a little space, and that's also okay.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. Especially if are living with parents or you have siblings or with your significant other, then it's okay to feel stress at times. We all go through that, especially right now. It's okay to have your ups and downs. It's just really figuring out, hey, I'm feeling really low right now. Maybe what are a couple of things that I can do? And like you said, personal time. Even having those conversations with your siblings, with your significant other, stuff that I have definitely done because, I feel like I'm sort of like in the middle between like an extrovert and like introvert. Like I can be an introvert if I really wanted to, but I really like to go out. And so just having those conversations, right? Like, hey, Thursdays from this time to this time, I would really appreciate it if you just, let me binge watch my favorite show by myself. And, just do things that, even you just want to do with your own company, and that's completely okay.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it's completely okay. And talking about binge worthy shows, they just put Avatar: The Last Airbender back on Netflix. If you're not familiar with that show, check it out. It's a masterpiece from beginning to end. It's an amazing story. I'm not gonna say anything more because it's not related, but it's a really good story. Uh, but if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're gonna double check one more time. Let me just go over to make sure we didn't miss anything. But do you have anything to add, Ingrid?
No, just I know you're gonna hate me for this, but I haven't seen the Airbender. I'm like binge watching. I know I'm binge watching Grey's Anatomy right now. I'm like started it from scratch, and so now thankfully I'm already in season 16 now. So just cannot wait to see how it ends.
I think we're gonna be even because I've never seen Grey's Anatomy. So,
Wow. Okay. Cannot see your
okay.
face right now.
Hey, can you see me now?
Yes, I was kidding.
Perfect. I just double check. We have no more questions. So, thank you for watching. Uh, Airbender or DBZ? Luis wants to know what's better, Airbender, Dragon Ball Z.
Mm.
Ooh, that's hard. Do you have a take on it, Ingrid? Well, actually, you didn't see.
I have actually seen Dragon Ball Z, so just because I've seen it, I would just go for that.
Okay. I
Although I was like Yu-Gi-Oh fan myself, so
Ooh,
a little
Yu-Gi-Oh is
different.
good. Uh,
Hmm.
Dragon Ball Z is very nostalgic. I have a lot of fond memories. I still watch it to this day. I think it's a very good action story, especially early on when it was Dragon Ball and Goku was a little kid and he wasn't like super powerful that he could destroy a whole universe in one punch. Uh, but I think I have to give it to Airbender. Airbender has a better story. All the characters have a character arc and they're better people or worse people by the end, but they have a character arc. So I think story wise, I would have to give it to Airbender. But we have some people, Robbie saying Airbender, get lost with Ruffy saying Dragon Ball Z, and then Luisa sad. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's sad because somebody chose Dragon Ball Z or because I chose Airbender.
Mm.
Melissa saying Airbender. Yeah, so it's people. Those are two beloved series. I don't think we don't have enough time. We have like 3 minutes left. We're not gonna have time to decide a winner.
Debate it now.
Yeah, perfect. Then thank you all for watching. Next week at 2:30, the Pump Team is gonna have their cocktails again. They didn't
Woo!
have it this week because they were planning for future events. So next week, join Pump on their Instagram. They're gonna go live. Darvin's great. He's funny. You already know that I've been just hyping him up the whole time. Watch him next week, 2:30. And then next week, join us here at 3 p.m. We're going to be talking about, oh no, I just pulled it up and I completely forgot because I read it. We're going to be talking about body image and self esteem. So if you're interested in listening to somebody talk or having a conversation with somebody about body image and self esteem, join us here next week at 3. At 3. If not, we're going to post this up later on and you can just listen to us talk then.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for joining
Thank
us,
you for
Ingrid.
joining, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Are you sure you want to end the video? Yes.